Okay, so we were talking about risotto. Risotto wanted to hear more about Hiroshima and people who survived the atomic bomb and what happened to them after the bomb. And she remembered that she has an aunt who lives in the United States with her from her mother's relatives, her mom's aunt. So Risotto decided to go and talk to Aunt Molly, and she wanted to concentrate about the camps that her mother's relatives and Aunt Molly has lived after the U.S. had like put them in the scams, in those camps at the time of World War II. We stopped at 252 line. And let's start read from the beginning. Okay, Kadra, are you here, Kadra? Okay. Yes, good. Kadra? Yes, continue, Kadra, from the beginning.
From the beginning.
Mhm.
That was wartime embarrassment I was familiar with. The makeshift parks in the desert where the U.S. puts on its ethnically Japanese citizens, an episode I had control over by having already spent a year exploring its limits and parameters. My first novel was inspired by my mother's discovery that she herself had been interned as a child in my fantasies about what secret safety such a silence might contain.
Yes, so
Ultimately,
her first novel, my first novel was inspired by my mother's discovery that she herself had been interned as a child there. Yani her mother herself has lived in this camp. Okay. Aunt Molly.
Aunt Molly may at that point have been one of the people still alive who had lived the unique Japanese-American triptych of the internment, the American occupation of Japan, and the atomic bomb aftermath. But I didn't know.
So at that time, yes, but I didn't know that. At that time, Aunt Molly was the only one who is still alive who had been through the atomic bomb and the camps. Okay. Triptych is a three-part work of art. Internment, as we said, the act of forcing people to stay within a place or a prison. Internment, the camps that the Japanese lived in through the time of World War II. Okay, thank you, Kadra. And okay, Note, are you here, Note? Note. Oh, okay. Continue reading. Thank you, Kadra. After from line 55, the American occupation.
The American occupation of Japan and the atomic bomb aftermath, but I didn't know that. The interview with her was one of the last I was going to wrap up a book that had already taken shape. That was the truth. I had come with one topic and couldn't allow my aunt to stray too far from it.
Yes, I wanted to focus on one topic. What was the topic she wanted to focus on? She wanted to focus only on the camps. This was the topic I want to focus on. I don't want her Aunt Molly to talk about the damages that happened there. I don't want to talk about the bomb. I will just want to talk about the camps. I want her to tell me about the camps. I don't want to go outside the topic. Continue.
The bomb was too risky to hint off. It was too big a word.
So please underline it. That was the truth. I had come with one topic and I couldn't allow my aunt to stray too far from it. Stray is to go out.
But then so much time had passed that I could no longer vote for a single detail of my meeting.
Yes. The bomb was too risky to conceive of. Conceive is to limit or to talk only about it. It was too a big word, a world. But then, when so much time had passed, continue, that I could no longer.
When so much time had passed that I could no longer vote for a single detail of my meeting with Aunt Molly, I started having nightmares of my own. I was walking through an atomic wasteland, fires burning, buildings at my feet. I had lost something. I was searching. I was walking on ash through a place where lived that should have been familiar, but which would never again hold the things I loved. or even resemble the words I want to know.
So here she started to suffer of what, girls?
Nightmare.
What did she see in those nightmares?
Atomic bomb.
She's walking through an atomic explosion.
Yes, she's walking through an atomic bomb. And what else? A place she had lived. She walks on ashes. A place that had been familiar but no longer exists. So she is kinda if she was living in where?
Hiroshima.
Hiroshima. But she didn't live there. So the memory, as we can say, the memory or the history of her ancestors, huh, is it chasing her. You can't get rid of your past, girls. You can't get rid of your past. You never can get rid of your past. It haunts you. Even if you escapes, it haunts you. It lives inside of you. You have to accept it, to understand it, to be aware of it. Okay? Continue. Note.
I didn't know that I was looking for it in my nightmares, only that I never found it. I woke with a fist on my chest.
Yes, I woke with a fist in my chest. A fist in my chest. Thank you, no. Thank you, dear. Lana Meher. Lana?
Oh, yes, miss.
Yes, continue, dear. Page 253.
Miss, can you tell me which line we stopped? I forgot.
At the beginning, 253.
Yes, and an awareness that, of course, this had something to do with Hiroshima, but also with my mother. I was embarrassed at knowing nothing, at ignoring my mother's recollections of a time when she herself had been in Aunt Molly's living room, avoiding the crazy peace people with her cousins, so this was my mother's history too. However, glancing that I had lost.
I had lost because I didn't want to hear when I saw them. So, an awareness that, of course, this had something to do with Hiroshima. I started to be aware that those dreams I dream of has something related to Hiroshima, but also with my mother. Why? I was embarrassed at knowing nothing. I felt sad that I know nothing about my mother's history, my mother's relatives' history, at ignoring my mother's recollection of a time when she herself had been in Aunt Molly's living room, when she herself lived in Molly's living room, her mother, yeah. Okay, 1 minute, please.
You will continue, miss?
Wait a minute, dear. So how come she misses her mother's history, her mother's life? How come she? So she feels so sad that she is escaping of the past, yet the past still chases her. Okay. Thank you. Let's continue now. 79, a memory.
Continue.
Yeah.
A memory then from that interview, my great aunt, single girl in her 20s, in a shiny black car with the doctors. They are going house to house. They're visiting the mothers of stillborn babies. Molly is a file clerk for the Americans, or a certification, but she can also be an interpreter. She can ask the grieving mothers for the details. Where were you when the bomb dropped?
So what was Aunt Molly's? Guys, 1 minute. I will turn off my camera to just my veil. Okay. Okay, I'm back. So, what was the job of Aunt Molly? Aunt Molly used to ride the cars. She was a clerk, you know, clerk who works in a company or for the government. She was a file clerk for the Americans or statistics. You know, when you make statistics in math, when you go and ask how the percentage, and this is a statistic. Okay, a statistician is the person who makes statistics, but she can also be an interpreter. She used to ask people, "Where were you at the time of atomic bomb?" So Aunt Molly knows a lot about those who lived through the atomic bomb. So she has lots of stories to tell because she had met lots of people with many stories. It looks like Aunt Molly is a treasure of stories, right? Right, girls? Or
Yes.
she met everyone. She met everyone. She met all of them. She asked them, "Where were you when the atomic bomb fell on Japan or Hiroshima?" Hiroshima. Okay, continue, Lana. She can, she can also be an interpreter. Okay, Lana, thank you, dear. She can ask the grieving mothers for the details. Where were you when the bomb dropped? Grieving mothers, they are crying for losing a husband, uh, a son, a daughter. Okay, Jude,
Yes, miss.
read, dear.
She can ask for the body of the dead baby. I remember her every word. I thought we were helping. When she found out, and how did that happen? That was the enemy that the U.S. government was classifying all that information so no one could fully understand what the bomb did. That they were offering no help and no.
Wait a minute. This is very important here. I want you to reread it silently, girls, because I will ask one of you to explain what does it mean. From line 83 to line 90. Please. Or read till 93. Finished, girls? Finished reading?
Yes.
Okay, so Layan,
Mm.
tell me, Layan, what did you understand?
Uh, Aunt Molly, she was actually working for the U.S. government, so she was not helping the Japanese people.
Did she
And
know that she's doing this?
no, she did not know until
Uh,
later. Um,
and what was the reason for the job of the United States?
the government was actually hiding the cases. The government did not want to know anyone to know to let anyone know what was actually going on. So they used Aunt Molly as one
Yes,
of the workers to get the
yes,
information. Mm.
yes, yes. So again, Lujain, what did you understand?
I understood that at the beginning she thought that she was helping them and by asking them and interviewing them, but later on she found out that she was part of the enemy who caused this like disaster for the Hiroshima
Yes.
people.
What was she doing exactly, Fatima? What was her job?
She was going to people's home and asking them, like, were you there at the time of the bomb?
And then grieving mothers. Why the grieving mothers whose babies are?
Um,
Huh?
like,
Remember previous time when we discussed that the diseases, the problem of the atomic bomb was not only in the time of releasing the bomb, but it also had what happened in the DNA.
yeah,
Remember the video, the DNA of the Japanese, and those new babies were born with dysfunctions. So many new babies have died when they were born. So the United States wanted to hide this information. Why? Why United States wanted to hide, girls? If you can think, why the United States want to hide any of what happened
because
or any of the results?
because they did a horrible thing to
Yeah.
that people.
To the Japanese. She did horrible things to the Japanese. And if the world is aware of what the United States have done, they would have been judged. The United States America president and those who took the decision, they should have been judged, okay, and distanced for killing, murdering, unmercifully.
But Miss, how they are not judged now? Like everyone knows.
No one took action, as I think. No one took action. Japan wanted to restore its country and forget what happened.
Oh.
They call them war criminals. Those after a war finishes and the international court, okay, which had cases between countries, a country who kills with no mercy, they are called criminal wars, okay, or war criminals. War criminals. You understand what is a word criminal, right? Like killer.
Yeah.
War criminal is a war killers. Okay, who's reading?
Me, Jude.
Yeah.
And here begins the outrage. That's when she became a peace activist. I'm almost sure that's what Molly told me. I had no other source of information, so it had to come from her. But when I returned just over a year ago, surrounded by silence, suffocating to re-listen to her story, Molly had finally forgotten.
Then I went to Molly again. Now I am more aware of the story. I'm more aware of what happened. I want to know more and more about what happened through the atomic bomb. But what did she find? Huh? When she went to Molly the last time?
She forgot everything.
Molly has forgotten. Molly has forgotten. You understand, girls?
Yes.
Molly has forgotten what happened. So she can't get any of Molly's memory. At the beginning, she said that Molly wanted to get rid of what?
The nightmares and the things that haunted her.
Yes, Molly wanted to tell. Hear me. I have lots to say. I have a lot to say. I want to tell people about what happened. But risotto, she says, I was so ignorant to hear. I was so ignorant to listen. I wanted to avoid hearing. I wanted to avoid listening. Then I was chased by those nightmares, and I awoke. I awake, or I from those nightmares. When I am awake of those nightmares, I wanted to know the reality of what had happened in Hiroshima. I couldn't understand or believe myself that there was an aunt who have been through all of that, lived in my country, and I didn't go to ask her and to know everything of her. The minute she decided to go to Aunt Molly to ask her about everything, the minute that Aunt Molly had forgotten what she wanted.
But teacher, there's a chance that Molly would lie to her.
Or we don't know. This is what she said.
بس يعني موري خرفت وعجزت عشان كده نسيت ولا ايش؟
Yes, she forgot. Yes, that's why she forgot. She grew old, dear. So now she can't get any of Molly's memory.
Miss, I want to make sure Molly was the enemy, right? Like
No, why enemy? Molly is a Japanese, a family, her mother's aunt.
But teacher, who was the one like taking information from?
She was working with recording the Japanese names, and she was working. She thought that she's helping. But then she understood that United States take this information to hide them and to cover what happened to Japanese.
Okay,
So she realized, when she realized, she stopped this work and she became a peace activist.
okay.
Okay,
Yes.
because she realized then what is happening, why the US want to hide everything of what has happened. Why? Because it's her mistake, it's a US mistake. So they will be blamed for every child. Okay, they will be blamed for every dead baby. They have to, actually. They are blamed, but they
And
didn't want to be.
why did she ask them? Like she knows.
No, dear. She, those, when you go to, when you have a new baby and you go to the register that the new baby, his name is Firas Ali, for example,
Mm, yeah.
recording, they have to get a birth paper and this.
Yes,
So she
yes.
was recording, she was working for this, for recording. So she met lots of people. So when she met these people, she used to ask them, "Where were you when the bomb fell in Hiroshima?" It means that she had lots of stories, but no one took these stories out of Molly. She hid them inside her.
Oh, okay. Yes, yes.
And then when she realized that the United States want this information to hide them, she doesn't want to heal those new babies or heal. No, she wants to cover what did she do in Japan.
So why
So
didn't she?
no one else will discover what did she do? What did the United States do? Huh? Wait, what, dear?
Why didn't she like tell Risotto?
Again,
Why didn't she tell Risotto about it? So like,
remember when Risotto was saying at the first page of the excerpt, she said she wanted to tell. She has always wanted to tell, but I didn't want to hear.
oh, okay, now I got it. I'm so
She
sorry.
says, I was so
Yeah,
ignorant. I
yeah,
didn't want to hear. I just wanted to focus on the camps, the idea of the camps and living on the camps. I didn't want to hear about what happened. What
yeah,
had
yeah.
happened from the atomic bomb, because she said the atomic bomb was a huge, it has many sides to be told. She cannot limit it. And she just wanted to know about one thing, the camps that her mother and her relatives from her mother's side lived there.
Yes, yes, okay. Thank
You
you so much.
understand me? It's okay,
Yeah.
guys. Questions, girls, you want to ask questions or we start solving the questions?
Miss,
Yes, dear.
Miss, can I go to the bathroom, please?
Yes, Asma, go.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so you see my PowerPoint? Girls, you see my PowerPoint?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, here is it. Slideshow from current. Okay, let's take first question. What examples of sensory imagery does the author use, girls? So you go back to the excerpt, please. Skim the excerpt, especially the first paragraphs from line 1 to line 15. And tell me what are the examples of sensory imagery. Sensory imagery, visual, auditory, olfactory, gustatory, kinesthetic. In the first page, 250, all of 250. Please reread it silently. Are you here, grade 10, or where are you?
Yes, Miss.
Yes.
Okay.
Miss, can I say one?
Yes, but wait a minute. Okay, Lojane, you wanted to say one, please?
Yes, miss. At the beginning, in page 250, when she started to describe that it's too late to see the lily of the valleys, lamps that hung in telescoping arcs. Here it's a visual one. She described the view.
Yes, excellent visual. When she describes what can she see. Excellent. Yes. Okay. So read it, Lojane.
Men in creased black suits and bowler hats, ladies who trailed hems of flowers around their covered ankles, the sea of fire, the endless bed of concrete stones, gather their mother's gleaming bones.
Yes. Okay. Thank you, Lojane. Layan Fadel. Layan. Layan is not here. Layan was not here also on Wednesday. Okay, Jumana. Jumana. Jumana's not here.
Miss, she told us that she's going to the bathroom and she didn't want to interrupt you.
Okay, Jumana. Joanna. Joanna. Rama.
Yes, miss.
Yes, Joanna. Joanna, read the
Yes.
question, dear.
Why does the author originally visit her aunt? What does he want to discuss with her?
Why she wanted to visit Aunt Molly? What did she want to know of her? Why she went to visit Molly, Aunt Molly? To talk. Joanna, why did she want to visit Molly? Ragad, are you here, Ragad? Ragad?
Yes.
Yes, Ragad. Why did she want to visit Aunt Molly, Ragad? Do you know, dear, or I ask someone else?
No, ask someone else.
Okay. Rima? Rima?
Yes, miss.
Rima, why did she want to Aunt Molly? Why did she want to visit Aunt Molly?
She found out that it was one of her relatives that knew what happened.
Yes.
Or experienced what happened during the bombings.
Yes. What was the topic she wanted to discuss?
The camps.
Yes, the
That
camps.
the family was staying
Are
at.
you well? Are you well, Rima? Or are you sick or what?
Yeah, I'm sick.
Oh, get well soon, dear. Read the answer, dear.
The intermittent camps where Molly and the author's mother and family had been banished during the war.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Rima. Okay. Question 3. Okay. Zaina, are you here, Zaina? Zaina? Rima? Rima answered Rama. Is Rama here? Durra?
Yes, miss.
Yes, Durra. Please read the question.
What is meant by lines 53-55? One of the few people still alive who had lived the unique Japanese-American type of the internment, the American
yeah,
the American occupation of Japan and the atomic bomb aftermath. Like she wants to explain.
Yes? Huh? She wants to. Who was one of the few people still alive who had lived the unique Japanese American project of the tournament? Who is this one?
Her mother's family were living there in the camps.
Yes. So, the life that the American endured through World War II.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yes.
So read it, dear. Read it.
The author is referring to 3 wrongs Japanese Americans had to endure during the after World War II.
World War II. The hard time through the World War II. Thank you, Durra.
You're welcome.
We go to Noor Bilal.
Yes, miss.
Yes, dear.
What is the implied meaning of the author's nightmare in lines 63 to 78? She had nightmares of the atomic bomb. It started haunting her.
Yes, as if she was living there, right?
Yes.
But was she living there?
No.
So why she was chased by those nightmares?
Because she did not want to listen about what her aunt was telling her.
Yes. Great, Read the answer, dear.
The author may be dreaming about the atomic bomb and its aftermath as if she were the one who lived through it. The images may also be related to finding out about her own family's experiences during the war.
Yes. Oh, okay. Thank you, Noor. Yusuf?
Yes, miss. How did the government use Molly's skills and to Japanese to their advantage? What effect does this have on Molly? Miss, I think that they use her advantage to cover in order to cover what the United States did.
Yes, because they used that she knows how to talk in Japanese and English to go to the Japanese and to take what records of them, of the results.
Yes.
Of the atomic bomb, right?
Yes.
So what was the effect of that when she realized that they take advantage of her? She became a what?
Activist.
A peace activist, yes. A peace activist after she realized that they have been manipulating her or something. Read it.
Because she was in Japanese and English, they used her to interview atomic bomb survivors and gain data about the effects of nuclear radiation. This caused her to become a peace activist.
Yes, when she realized that they have been taking advantage of her, she became a peace activist. Okay? Okay, thank you. Question 6, Malak Wasim.
Yes, miss.
Read, dear.
What is the meaning of the final line in the story? Support your inferences with evidence from the text. Do I read the last line?
Yes, please.
Molly had finally forgotten.
Yes. So what is the meaning of the final line? What does it mean that Molly has finally forgotten?
Is it about her aunt telling her about like the things that happened?
So Molly now can tell?
Molly what?
Can tell now what happened?
No, she forgot about everything.
Yes, she forgot about everything. Okay, read the answer, Malak.
Answers will vary. The final line may mean that the author's aunt had aged and could not mentally remember the events.
Because when a person ages, he cannot remember the events, or maybe she has an Alzheimer or something.
Yeah, and the events, or that she was
or
no
maybe
longer
she doesn't want to talk about it anymore.
Talk about the events. Since the text is about remembering the atrocities at Hiroshima. It is ironic that when the author is finally ready to hear her aunt's story, her aunt is either not willing or not able to tell the story.
So this is so ironically that when she wanted to, finally she has decided to hear everything of her aunt. Her aunt is no more willing to say anything. Maybe either she forgot or she doesn't want to talk. Okay?
Okay, miss.
Okay. So we will stop here, girls. Next time we will solve 254. Okay. And we will also solve connector testing. So try to solve connector testing, okay? I know it will be the homework for next week, but let's solve it together. We have time next literature period. I will not create an online assignment, just solve it in your book. Okay?
Okay, miss.
Okay. Well, see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow, Miss.
Bye,
Bye,
miss.
miss.
Bye, Miss.
Bye.